So I'm in 4th grade, I'm 10 years old, I'm transferring schools, I don't know anyone, and nobody knows me. And first day of school, teacher wants to introduce me. She gestures me to go to the front of the class and introduce myself, say a little something about yourself to everyone who has no idea who I am. Now, I always stuttered with saying my name. And so I stand up, panic takes over, I force myself to the front of the class and I start, "Hi, my name is no. I have a bad block. I can't get it out." Kid in the front seat wasn't really paying attention. He lifts his eyes up and he goes, "What'd you forget your name?" He says it underneath his breath. The teacher doesn't hear, but I heard it. The kid next to him, his buddy, says, "I think he said his name is nobody." And he goes, "Nice to meet you, nobody." And then the teacher kind of was just as surprised that I stuttered, and she interjected and goes, "This is Nolan Russo, he's new to the school," and she gestured me to go back to my seat, and I forced a smile on my face, and I walked back to my seat, and you see the looks from these other kids saying, "What the heck was that? Like, what was that all about?" A couple days later, we're in gym class. Now, this is my opportunity to really engage with other people. I was a good athlete, and so I thought, well, this is my chance for them to get to know me and for me to meet other people. The gym teacher comes around to me. We're picking teams. The gym teacher goes, "So what position do you want to play?" And I said, "I want to play third. I can't say third base." So they go right over me, and he finishes up. He tells 9 people to go out in the field. I was the 10th person. He goes, "Why don't you sit on the bench? We'll get you in a couple innings, and when you decide which position you want to play, let me know." So here I am. I know what position I want to play. I know what my name is, obviously. But here I am feeling sidelined and like a nobody. And that's what stuttering does to you, because it takes away your ability to creatively express yourself. It kind of like you're two people. You're the stutterer who forces the words out and who's changing words. And then there's the real you that is trapped inside because you can't express yourself. So you know what you want to say, when you want to say it, and how you want to say it. But when you go to say it, the stuttering self takes over and you can't. And that's a very isolating feeling. You feel alone. You feel that you get depressed and you get super frustrated. So my loving and supportive parents, they realize this and they start looking for stuttering treatments. I went through a handful of treatments in my grammar school years, and the problem was they approached stuttering as something was wrong and we're going to fix it. Okay, but something was wrong and we needed to right it. Something's broken with you and we're going to fix it. And until we fix it, you're not going to be able to be yourself or be the person you want to be. But we have that fixed for you because, well, you've broken. That's why you're here. So, and the treatment programs, they didn't work. Maybe they could produce some fluency inside a clinical setting, but it didn't translate into the real world. So now I'm not only feeling alone, isolated, depressed, frustrated, but now I feel broken, and you feel like something's wrong with you. So that's when the hopelessness and the helplessness sets in. And that's a scary place to be, and all of us stutterers, I think, have been there. Fast forward, now I'm 14 years old, going into high school, again, a new school that I've never been, that I don't know anyone that's at, they don't know me. And my parents found Catherine Montgomery, rest in peace, and AIS, and I went into the 3-week intensive program, which is like our flagship program, a summer program. I went in as a stutterer who was desperate for relief, who felt broken, and felt there was no fix to this thing. I didn't know, why should this be any different? But in the first couple days of being there, I realized something very profound and important. And it was that with the approach that AIS had to stuttering was unlike anything I've ever experienced. And it goes like this, and it's subtle, but it's so profound. You're not a stutterer when you're at AIS, okay? You're a person who stutters. So you might think, well, that's simple semantics. What is that? That's just you're a stutterer or you're a person who stutters. What's the difference? But the difference is I was a person who stuttered. I was a person that had brown hair. I was a person who was good at athletics. I was a person who was smart, who was funny. I was a person who, whatever you want to put in that blank spot, it's a part of you. It doesn't define you. And so and then they take that part of you inside AIS and they break down the relationship you have with your stutter. So for me, it was a debilitating handicap that prevented me from being myself, and it was causing me to be distraught. And then you work through and you begin to realize the gifts that stuttering has given you, and how you view it as a sense of strength, right? So for me, my stuttering made me a more compassionate person. I feel like I'm more in tune to people's insecurities, and I respect that, and I stay away from that, and I don't flaunt it or take advantage. I feel that it made me more insightful. I mean, as a stutterer, I didn't have the convenience to dance around with my words. I couldn't engage in the BS, if you will. I had to read a situation and be very direct and honest with my response. I mean, my words were a valuable currency to me. I couldn't just waste them. So they made me more courageous, more hardworking, more resilient. And this kind of work happens every day inside AIS. And they teach you that I wasn't broken. There was no fixing needed here. I was exactly who I needed to be. I was me. I was a person who stuttered. And that's empowering. That acceptance is empowering. And oh, by the way, fluency follows that acceptance. Now, I know at AIS, fluency is not the goal, but inherently, when you form a different relationship with the stutter, so for me, it was something that I wanted to get rid of, something I hated, something I was ashamed of, and I was guilty of doing. And then when you change that to where the relationship is a source of strength, and it's something that makes you unique, and it gives you the advantage, and it's empowering. And this happens every day inside AIS, and that's why I can't thank you guys enough for your support. Now, I'm thanking you not from this guy standing behind this podium, but I want to thank you from that 10-year-old kid standing in front of that class. I want to thank you from that 15-year-old girl that's getting bullied, and her self-esteem and her self-image is getting destroyed. I want to thank you, Emily, and Arthur, and Eric, and Tony, and Don, and Sander, and everyone else that had the courage to get up on this podium and share their story, provide support, and be an inspiration to so many of us. So thank you. I want to thank my fellow board members for the guidance and support that you've given me over my chairmanship. I want to thank the staff at AIS and Heather and Carl and all the staff. That you guys are doing tremendous work every day. I mean, life-changing stuff. I want to thank my family and friends. You know, there are dark times in life, and sometimes you need someone to pick you up and tighten up that light bulb and show you the light. And I'm blessed and fortunate to have that a part of my life, so thank you. I want to thank my beautiful and supportive wife, my beautiful daughter, and I want to thank all of you. That without your support, we don't have the resources to give this kind of, to create this kind of environment, to give this kind of treatment. I've been through it. I've been in the trenches. I've gone into New York. I've gone to the intensives, and I know it works. I mean, it does work. It's helped hundreds, and now we're going on thousands of kids. We started in New York, and we're branching out now nationwide. It's an important place. And without the support that you've showed in the past, the support that you showed tonight, and your continued support, it doesn't happen. So, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for everything you guys do. I'm gonna keep this award. It's gonna sit on my desk, and it's gonna always remind me of the journey that I've been on from that 10-year-old kid to now standing behind this podium in the company of the people that I admire the most. And now I view my stutter as a gift and a sense of strength, and I don't get there without AIS. So again, thank you all, and it's a true honor. Thank you.